Rightio, swim baits in the Murray, in the actual river itself. You know, swim baits have been around for a long time. How long I don't know, but the old man gave me this a few weeks ago. It's one of my grandfather's aeroplane spinners, and he's got a swim bait. I think this is called a flossie, hanging off the tail end of it. So I know timber swim baits apparently come from California in the late 60s or 70s. They were using them to catch trout or big bass, I'm not sure. But yeah, I found that interesting once after I got into swim baits when my dad showed me this. So, you know, how long they've been using them for, I have no idea. In the Murray, I know the first swim bait I seen, I think it was one of these, a Gantia. Felicity goes, why aren't you using these? And I said, oh, well, they're dismissed her straight away. I said, these are for, you know, barra or sea run stuff. They're not really for Murray cod, and shut her down, and she put it back on the shelf, and that was that. Might have been 6 months later, she's coming to the tackle shop again. Another swim bait, you know, there's more of them now, why aren't you using them? Oh, it's, you know, dismissed her again straight away. And then I was over at Lake Mulwala, I was in fish camp and ski. Vanessa goes, oh, the guys are catching some fish on these swim baits, you know, Percy perch and all that sort of thing. And, you know, once those guys have said to me, you know, they're catching cod on them, I thought, oh, I never bought any, too tight, I'll just have a bit of a look at them. Thought I'd look on YouTube, Adam Townsend catching them probably 5 years ago. His video is in the granite country on swim baits. You know, it sparks my interest. Start seeing more fish on YouTube out of Mulwala and that. The proving ground for all sorts of lures, you know, a lot of things start in these lakes and then they make their way down the river, as most things have. The first one I had a hit on was this big. I think it's a Gudu bait. Did not have a dedicated rod to cast it with, so I was just trawling it at probably about 3 meters deep while I was having a cast, just letting it sort of sit there doing its thing. Hear the rod load up, look around, just see the rod flick back up, the fish has spat it. You can't see the teeth marks. There's a massive set of teeth marks if you get the right angle, and you can see them over the back. There's a good set down there if you get it the right angle in the light. And, you know, first time I've actually tied one on, get hit straight away. Did not get a fish on the cast that day, but come very close to getting one on the trawl on that big thing. So, rightio, swim baits work in the river. So I'm going to invest in a few more. Felicity might regret suggesting we get some swim baits, because Felicity doesn't know how many swim baits I've got now. My tackle box is, I've got like 3 tackle boxes full of them. I've seen this one, Cope de Magic. It's a Gantrel. You know, looked at videos. Jacko Davies does a good video on tying them on through there so that they're cod strong. Upgraded the trebles a bit. Dean Norbiato does a little video on chin weights, worth having a look. I haven't got time to go into all that. Thought I'd give swim baits a go, casting them. I knew the snags, they're a very snaggy lure. I'm not going to say they're not, but I was casting them in the snags that I knew very well. I think half an hour in, I've been hit by a fish, casting it like I would cast spinnerbaits and that sort of thing. 4 or 5 snags later, I've got my first fish on a swim bait. It was about a 65 centimetre cod. You'll see from the video, I'll put it up now, on the paws. So fishing them super slow, like a wet sock coming in. You can basically more watching your line than you're feeling the lure. Winding it back, I think I might have adjusted my electric motor, and so it's dropped a bit, bang, fish on.
First caught on a swim bait.
Very happy. First fish on a swim bait. First time I've really tried them in the river. So from there, rightio, I didn't have a dedicated rod still. I was using the soft plastic Raider, which is rated to about 35 grams. They're probably up around that, lob cast. Need a big one where I can hoik them in. I think the first one I got it off Pagey at Baits and More. He looked after me. Got the Muse, 13 fish Muse Black. It's rated to 4 ounces. You can hoik some big lures out there. I got the reel, just a Monster PT off of Trellies, you know, same deal. What can you do for cash? They always look after you a bit, and then the money you've saved, you spend it on a lure anyway, so they're not losing. So don't be afraid to hit them up. Fishing a clay bar. Fishing was tight. Fishing was hard. It was just after Easter. Fishing's always hard just after Easter. Leading up to Easter, it's generally fairly easy. After Easter, the river starts dropping, it's hard. Weren't getting any fish. Decided I bought these Xerix off Trelly. He price matched as he does. This one he's been hit a couple of times, but the biggest fish on it was just under 90. Fishing the top of the clay bar, I'd worked out how it all worked with me sounder. Looked too good not to have a fish in there. There was timber laying over it. There was like big clay boulders. Cast her out, I think about the third cast, and just fishing it. These, you can actually feel these ones a little bit. Watching me line come back. About the third cast, thinking this will probably never work. The fish are shut down anyway. And I'm not sure if, I know it was on the pause anyway, whether I've adjusted my electric motor or whether I've just stopped winding for a second, bang, nails it. So obviously the fish is watching him swim. When it's paused, he's thought, too easy. You know, it looks like a fish, must be a fish. Too easy, I'll have that, and bang, he's nailed it. Nice one there on the swim bait. Show that swim bait to the camera, Felicity. Xeric, Infinity. I'm not sure if I swear in the video, but I was a bit surprised. Generally, I still fish me conventional lures. They're easy to fish, spinnerbaits, hard bodies and that, but you know, I should not dismiss these. I should be fishing them a lot more, because in the water where I fish, you know, like I've said before, so close to Melbourne, so much pressure. Fish have seen so many so many surface lures the last 3 or 4 years that you've got to have, you know, another trick in your tackle box. Can't be a one-trick pony. You've got to have different means of catching them, tricking them. We're dealing with Mother Nature. They'll wake up to us pretty quick. After that fish, and with what I've just said in mind, hard fishing water, I've hit a bank that I have caught a lot of fish on surface lures off of, and the bank became, you know, I went from catching lots of fish on surface lures to getting one a trip, to getting one every second trip. Like, I and probably other people have woken the fish up to it. I thought, here's the next best thing. My approach is always stealth. I rarely start my petrol motor until the end of the day. I normally, you know, get out there and just I put in where I want to fish, and I fish straight away under electric, and I sneak around, and these are the ultimate in stealth. I know the fish are living there. I've caught too many of them not to, even though they're not taking me lures this year for some reason, me surface lures. I thought I'll go next level, which is that far under the water, no chin weight. You know, I've upgraded the trebles so they do sink slowly, but I've taken the chin weight out, and I've basically fishing them subsurface, but basically, you know, still fishing the surface of the river, but just underneath. Cast him up beside a snag, and these things here, once you get used to it, just a little turn of the reel, if you watch the video, you'll see me line slacken off, tighten up, slacken off, and these things here, you can get them, you know, they glide a bit wider. One hit of the reel will go out there and it'll just slowly peel out. Next hit of the reel, it'll come back right into the snag. Here's a nice one on the down swimmer. Not even a tooth mark in it. Yeah, just fishing at subsurface. Had me doubts, but she was all good. These are, you know, that next trick in the tackle box that you need. These are Dale swimmers. Pagey actually at Boats and More in Echuca said, these things are great, you should try one of them. I've seen the guys, KD fishing, seen the old fella smashing the young bloke on the brown dog. Thought, that's the colour for me, I'll get the brown dog. And that's where I'm at with that one. I noticed late last winter, fish swimming around the bait balls, like they do in South Australia. See that a lot more, and like down below Mildura. So I thought I'd pick up this Big Bang of the Gigantrel, and my sole purpose for that is to cast it into the bait ball and just let it sink through the bait ball, wind it back out of it. I only tried it once. I know we've caught them on spinnerbaits like that. I know that these things are going to get smashed when they let us back on the water. When the bait's will be schooling up now, it's getting cold. Dedicated rods. Right, there's other good swim bait rods out there. Miller builds a great one. I just happened to, off both guys at Boats and More, give me a good deal on this. 8 kilo Venom swim bait, one piece one. Just got my old faithful Corrado 300 reels on it, and they handle it no worries at all. Handle the casting of the heavier lures. But yeah, the Venom made in Australia, I love this stick. People go crook about the price, but as a mate said, they're dear, they're as light as a feather, and you could flog a brown snake to death with them. That's how strong they are. So make sure you go in, put your reel on one before you buy it. There's a couple of different grips. I didn't like this grip. It's the only one I could get at the time. I got the sandpaper out and filed it and filed it and filed it till it fitted my hand perfectly, and that's probably another reason why I love it, because I can cast it all day, and it's just an extension of my body. It's not like an effort to hold onto it. So that's my take on spin baits. I'm trying to keep it short, not like the last video, but you know, I probably rambled on a bit much. Definitely going to do a lot more with them. Definitely going to do a lot more with them in the river. I'm just waiting for them to let us go fishing. Bloody hell. My metre plus wall, you can't see the photos. There's heaps down here, and it sort of morphs up around the door of the shed. There's one up here, 115-ish, I got late last season. I'm going to talk about that next because it's a little bit easier. You know, it's a bit of a quicker talk, try and put a short video in, and just how I went about catching that one fish. So, and you know, old school fishing, casting a stumpy. So, you know, budget fishing. So until then, please hit the like button if you like this, subscribe if you haven't, if you want to, hit the little bell if you subscribe and it'll tell you when the next video comes in, share with your mates, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, see you next time.